All right, that said, I want to transition back to the issue of Virginia and education and what transpired on Tuesday in Virginia, because it has rocked the political world. Joining me now to talk about this is Brent Keilen, Vice President of FRC Action. Brent, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Tony. Good
You're
to be
becoming
with you
a regular here.
Not everybody has me back 2 days in a row.
Yeah,
So
I might let you host. Who knows?
All right.
Let's talk about the role of evangelicals. And I know that term, we don't really like that term. We like the SageCon, the spiritually active governance engaged, because it's just a more accurate description. But the media uses evangelicals. Let's talk about it. What role did they play?
Very, very significant role. If you look at different breakdowns from some of the exit polls of, say, white evangelicals, 76% of them voted for Glenn Youngkin on Tuesday. And 76%, that's over 3/4 of the of that segment. That's a massive, massive swing one way. And education has gotten a lot of attention in the Virginia races. Rightly so, huge issue. But let's not forget the other issues that were important in such that big of a segment going towards Glenn Youngkin. If you look at the life issue, very important. Terry McAuliffe was absolutely extreme on that position.
He actually campaigned at an abortion clinic.
He actively campaigned at an abortion clinic. He was given
now juxtapose Glenn Youngkin, who went to a church, spoke at a church. In fact, it was at our event at the Pray Vote stand, and was at the same church that following Sunday at Calvary Chapel or Cornerstone Chapel. But then you have Terry McAuliffe campaigning at an abortion clinic. I mean, that's a picture.
Huge difference. Glenn Youngkin supported policies like the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act, not giving our taxpayer dollars to Planned Parenthood, you know, the nation's largest abortion provider. Terry McAuliffe was given the opportunity to name one restriction on abortion that he supported. Couldn't name one. Yeah. So that's a big difference.
And I had those conversations actually with Glenn, and I believe he's absolutely committed to life. He is going to be a pro-life governor.
Right. That's
now,
right.
I want to go to back to this issue of the evangelicals for just a moment before we run out of time. But the intensity was with the Youngkin voters, not the McAuliffe voters.
That's right, Tony. And that got measured because of the extensive early voting period, 45 days. We had different polls coming up at different times, but especially the closer that we got to Election Day, there was a huge difference. We're talking double-digit gaps in the people that say, I'm excited to vote for Glenn Youngkin versus excited to vote for Terry McAuliffe.
Okay, I think we talked about this several weeks ago. Maybe we didn't, so maybe this is the first time I'm talking about it. But Virginia changed their election laws, I think last year. Was it last year or year before?
Yeah, I think it maybe was 2019,
okay,
if I remember right.
They changed their election laws to be very similar to California to allow for ballot harvesting, something that we don't like. It's a bad idea. But since they did it, we took kind of a cue from California, where churches did it in California. In fact, we helped some churches do it, to do ballot collection. And so we actually had a number of churches in Virginia that we held a conference for pastors, brought them in, taught them how to do it. And so we had a number of churches that did ballot collection in this election. Talk about that.
Yeah, and like you said, the election laws in Virginia, there have been many changes over the last couple of years. And so did a lot of work, a lot of people to let people know, let churches know, let pastors know, what does the law say now? And we know of a number of churches that took advantage of that, walking through that process, saying you can fill out a form. You can request a ballot. That ballot will get you. You can bring it in and and kind of vote together, if you will. And a lot of churches utilized that to get their people involved. Saying, what are the legal options here? We want to take advantage of whatever those are to get as many people to the polls as we can.
Yeah, my view is we use that. We're not particularly crazy about it. It's something that the left put in to try to liberalize the election laws. But look, they put it there. Let's use it by the book. I think actually if we use it, and as we saw in California, they use it very successfully, the left's going to want to get rid of it. And we can go back to the way that we did elections before.
Yeah, very good chance of that. Lots, like you said, Tony, of changes to election law, and it's just so important for people to be up to speed on what are you able to do.
Yeah, and we had the other thing. Just we're not going to have time to talk about education. We're going to do that next week. But poll watchers, record number of poll watchers that came out in Virginia.
Yes, Tony, this was so significant. We literally had thousands of people volunteering to become poll watchers, not just on election day, all the way through the early voting period. We had some of these deep blue North Virginia counties saying conservatives are outnumbering liberal poll watchers 2-1.
That is that's a part of the answer to the election integrity. The concern about elections is if you're concerned about the elections, be a poll watcher, show up, and of course we got to continue to work through state legislatures to change those laws as well.
Yes.
Brent Keilen, great to talk with you. Thanks so much for joining us. Great work at FRC Action in this election cycle.
Thank you, Tony. Good to be with you again.